let's do this. A new series, Unfiltered. I just finished watching The Batman, and it was phenomenal. You don't need to tell me, you don't need me to tell you that the film's well shot and all the other analysis stuff. These are just going to be some of my thoughts from during the film, which I quickly wrote down. The music, that was so good that I sat through the credits just to listen to the rest of it. It reminds me a lot of the Arkham games. That could be through direct influence from Rocksteady or shared influences that Rocksteady had been influenced by. Riddler was great. I've always been a fan of the flamboyant Riddler versions. I think that's the main way we've seen him anyway. But I do love this version. It's like if you take Arkham City's Riddler and you just push him even further with his death traps. He kind of reminds me a little of Anarchy from Origins towards the end. Yeah, this is going to be a spoiler thing. We've also seen from Riddler in this film that Batman can make his own villains, and that reminded me of Hugo Strange from City again. There's a lot of Arkham stuff in there, as someone who's replayed those quite a few times. We get to see the Batclaw in live action, and that was good fun. Or something at least that looked like the Batclaw. Combat was brutal. Obviously, we've seen a lot of that in the trailers. Alfred was great. There's a perfect relationship there. Can definitely see a Telltale influence in there with the Waynes and the Arkhams. It feels a lot like a best of Batman film. It takes a lot of the greatest stuff from many variations. I got what I wanted in the end. We finally have a proper Batman film. A proper Batman film. Just let that sink in. This is amazing. This whole movie, I was hooked. It was just perfect. We're definitely able to see a lot of emotion behind the cowl, and the movie is a detective movie. It reminds me a lot of The Long Halloween, which I recently watched. I haven't read the comics, unfortunately, but it does remind me of the adaptation. Okay, so at the start we see Gotham, and it looks fantastic. One of the early shots, it reminds me of this. You remember in Arkham Knight at the start, you've got Paul's Diner, Paulie's Diner, the Paul Dini reference name for the diner, and you've got, I think, Monarch Theatre in the middle with those two roads. You know what I'm talking about, right at the start. That main area. And one of those early shots in the film, it reminded me of that area. It's just perfect. The difference is in the Batman's Gotham, people actually live there. You don't have the problems of the game. And it's taken further, of course. It does look amazing. The Batmobile, of course, I can't end without talking about the Batmobile. There, okay, look, I love the Adam West Batmobile of the 1960s, and if you look way back to 1949, where Batman and Robin, not the newer one, the 1949 Batman and Robin, they just had a car. Just a car, not even, excuse me, not even a Batmobile. I mean, it's a car. It's a car. Anyway, I love West's Batmobile, and like comparing those to the Tumblr and the BVS Batmobile, I prefer the older ones. They're just so good. And the Batman's Batmobile is, it's like if you take West's Batmobile and you armor it over the top. Because, okay, look, this is a very new format. Just trying it out. West's Batmobile is just, it's open topped, and obviously this car in this film is not open topped, but it feels like a more armored version of the West Batmobile, if that makes sense. All of this is to say, this is my favorite Batman film. This is it. This is my favorite Batman film. Live action, anyway. I think it might even beat out a lot of the animated movies too. Move over, Snyder Cut. There's a new, better movie in town. I hope you liked watching this video. Thanks for watching.